There we go. So I'm gonna go to my Serato flip. Shout out to Milo or MyloMu. Always call him Milo for short, but he was gonna put it on the Twitch stream, just kind of how I did some breakdowns and how to get some stereo widening. Super easy. I use this plugin called Widener. Let me put an empty track in here. That sample plugin. Oh, Wider, not Widener. Wider from Polyverse. I thought it was Infected Mushroom was the name of the company. Yeah, that's the I guess the other name of it, but it's from Polyverse. Wider, and this definitely gives you the kind of stereo width that you're looking for. Free plugin too. On top of that, let me delete this. Kind of do a play on it, and then kind of do a breakdown of this flip. Let me open up Discord real quick. Play the sample so you have an idea what it is. Make sure you join the Serato's Kitchen Discord. Super fun. So this is, there it is right here. We'll play it real quick. So that's the sample that we had for this week. How do I exit out? Oh, right there. Whoops. Get out of it. There we go. There we go. So that was the sample, and then I'll play the flip. Hopefully it's not super, super loud.
Quit acting up.
There we go. So that was the flip. And I'm trying to make a little mark right here. Okay, so for the intro of the song, and as far as like how I have the tempo set up, the tempo is 138. I pitched it up 3, so +3 semitones, which would put me in F minor. The chop was the chop I started with, that one, and I just repeated it all the way across, and I used the Tal chorus and Tal filter together. I'm gonna solo it so you can hear what's going on. If I don't have those on, it sounds like this. It just adds just a little extra for me. And again, those are both free plugins from TAL or TAL. So let me loop that there. So it's that section. And I have it like a low pass filter about halfway with that. As far as the other sounds that are going on, I have this wobbly bass. That there. And these are just kind of like just sprinkled on to those sections. That's the sound. Sounds like a laser kind of turning on kind of deal. Only processing, I put the stock reverb, the amphitheater reverb on that. It's all about spacing. So see, it's not too busy. So everything's kind of call and response. So it's this, bounce to this, then to this. Then I introduce like a drum sequence there, then a horn. So everything's kind of playing follow the leader kind of. Angry horn. Can't go wrong with that. So that's the first sequence, even though I know you see intro and scene 4. I got lazy. I just knew that this was going to be the second part. So then I have this section here. So I have a buildup that's happening, and I have this vocal. It's a cymatics buildup, and I did a volume automation and a reverb automation with this. So by itself, it sounds like this.
Quit acting up.
I'm just automating this volume. Then I turn the reverb off at the end.
Quit acting up.
So there's that. So we have that going on. Then added this little top loop, like a UK garage top loop. Introduce this little one shot.
Quit acting up.
And then I tend to do a lot of mute automation, so like things have a bit of room to breathe, and I can really showcase a particular like sound. So this one did a mute automation here on this part, as well as the whole drums as well. So go there, filter, mixer, mute, and another one here. So you're going to hear these cut off. So instead of doing like a volume one where it slowly descends in volume, if you add a mute, it'll completely cut it off. So sometimes that's what I want for that. But you have to make sure that you do it in the group area and not the particular sound if you want the whole thing to mute from there. So then we have this section here. So we're now at another piece of these chops. So I'm going to solo this here. And I added a bunch of reverb to this section. And I also use Serum Fx. I tend to use the Dream Chords one. It just works really well. By itself, without any processing, sounds like this. Turn this all off. And I made these chops really short. I reversed that one and I key shifted it up one. Reverse that one too. If I add the reverb. If I add that effect rack. Boom. It's because I added a multi-band compressor, so I'm really pushing those frequencies up more. what I mean by that is this multi-band compressor here. Like added and I try to like overdrive the high end. I just made that 2 bars so then it can go into this scene here. So then we just have that soloed. So drum wise, here's our drums here, play by themselves. Definitely a lot of off the grid situation going on, as you can tell. So you can see there's a lot of off the grid action going on these kicks. With I didn't do any like swing applying because I basically just did the swing by manually moving these things off. So it's like tambourine, open hi-hat, short snares, kind of like trying to kick kind of on there, and then another open hat. So here, if you're trying to do that little kind of shuffly snare, that's where velocity changes are really important. So you can tell this velocity is 33, 100, 96, just to give a little variety right here. So when I combine it with the other kind of drum loop that I have, that's where you're getting that bounce from. Getting that bounce from there. So we combine it all together. Oh, this is what I introduced this sub bass 808. Sounds like this. Hopefully in your headphones you can hear that. Added a little glide, that's why you can kind of hear the boom boom boom. Just in that little kind of part right there. Like if I move this a little further, you kind of get a little bit more glide action there. So you gotta remember, if you have this glide enabled, you have to make sure that this kind of extends over, so you get that kind of overlap. There you go. So with this one, to kind of get that stereo, I use this chorus in here as well for that. And on here, dimension in the Serum Fx rack is also like a stereo widener. So I really try to adjust that as much as I can. You have to be careful so you don't run into like a weird phasing delay. So you can adjust that with the size parameter here. So if you have Serum and you didn't know that it has an additional plugin called Effects Version, basically everything that's a synth that had processing attached to it, you can use it and run samples through it. If you didn't know. Again, it's just call and response. Shout out to my boy Snoozy, who's dope at doing that. I learned a lot from him as far as like call and response with sounds. So I added this little kind of rhythmic little percussion loop. And that one I had it where I just had it where it's not a one shot here. It's just however long I make that bar is how long it's going to play for. That's that section. Then we go right into this one, scene 7. Shout out to Snoozy. Actually used his track and just used the vocal part of it. Snoozy like this. Check it out.
One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this, this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this, this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this, this.
By itself, sounds like this.
One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this, this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this, this. One time.
So I had it where the loop would play.
One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this, make it drop like. One time like this, make it pop like this.
So I needed to have that fading out echo. So I just made another chop here and shorten it to this section. And then just added 2 echoes at 3/4 length for that.
One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this. One time like this, make it pop like this, make it knock like this.
Then it takes me to the next section, which is here. It just keeps going as far as like that main kind of melody section. So I added this little element. So it's actually like a vocal chop. So that sounds like this. No processing. Sounds like this. So use the Valhalla space modulator. The click preset didn't really adjust anything. I just ended up liking how that sounded. Then kickstart, which is a sidechain compressor. And then I use another instance of Serum Fx, but I use the Excellent Sith Twin Peaks preset, and I added much more widening to the track from there. Did a flanger, filter, compressor. I took down the highs quite a bit from there. Oh, it has if I turn that on. Now you get a little flanger kind of phasing that I want to have. So now we combine it. So I wanted to introduce that little car horn sound. Use Supermassive for a massive reverb pellet compressor because I wanted to really drive a certain frequency, and a soft sidechain for that. And then did mutes right at the last part of this. Because I really wanted to emphasize this. So a lot of these, I did a high pass filter at the end. Like you see that slope right here. I did it here as well. It just it kind of pushed those frequencies out of the way so that you can hear this, and it better brings in this sound right here, in my opinion. So then that takes me to the next section where I did a little key shifting fun right here. So I did a little robot here. And I did a little mute automation right there as well. So I can bring back that little bass tone right here. Again, call and response, take one thing out, add one thing in. So they're not all fighting with each other. So if I do key shift here, you're going to see this number move up and down. Whoops. Didn't mean to do spotlight. There we go. See that moving up and down? I'll loop it back to the beginning. You can do cool little builds and downshifts just doing key shift automation. So if you were going to do it, basically click on here, it opens up key shift, and then you just create your points, your automation points. So I only did it there, and then at the end I did it where it goes down. So let me play that back here. And then drum wise, I've been into really doing these little kind of quadruples and like triplets kind of things. Actually did a key shift on the drum, on the kick drum. You'll see it. It gives me a cool like a tremolo effect. Again, who says you can't do it on drums? Why not? You know, just experiment, man. And then went back to the drum pattern for it. And that's how the whole track is. I'll just play it one more time.
Quit acting up.